But I would say next time you do it, do everything you can to stack that Lichborn. See if that works. Because I've not failed a run yet where I stacked Lichborn in any spec. I have failed a couple runs where I did it as Unholy. Unholy seems to be the worst spec to do it in.
Because you're so reliant on your pet, and if you buff the pet, like I got a bunch of those. Like if you death coil your pet, it stacks twice, increase damage. I got
Oh,
like 6 of those, and let me tell you, the pet did 1,000% of my damage.
you know you can do that on
But
yourself too, right?
you can give yourself the buff.
Yeah, dude, that's the whole point of the Lichborn build, man. If you activate Lichborn, you can death coil yourself to heal yourself, and it gives you the buff. That's what the Lichborn build.
What?
That's what the Lichborn build does, man. You permanently radiate Lichborn or death coils because Lichborn's up 100, basically 100% of the time, and those death coils hit like a truck and keep you at 100% health the entire dungeon.
Oh,
And they summon
I'm talking about.
the enemies as Army
I'm
of the
I'm
Dead
talking about
minions.
I'm talking about the buff that literally says that. I didn't know that. Maybe I
Yeah,
misread it,
the one
but
that you can stack it twice and it gives you 15% attack speed and
yeah,
his.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that it applied to you.
yeah, that's the whole reason the Lichborn ability thing that radiates it
Holy
works.
shit!
If you don't have that, the Lichborn thing won't do fucking shit. Yeah, I
I
just
did
stacked as
not.
many of that as I can because it
I was just
stacks.
applying it to my minion, and it was just getting two shot, and I was losing my fucking mind.
I was wondering. I was actually going over the anime abilities. I'm like, the fuck is he doing to get his minion buff? Because I've never buffed my minion. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I could just radiate both, like
Yeah,
onto me, that is an insane build.
that's what I was saying. Like I did the 18, and I even posted a screenshot of, or I mean, I posted the details. I did the 18 as blood, not even as a DPS spec, and I was doing the
Yeah,
Lichborn
I
build. And on the last boss, I killed the floor 18 boss in 31 seconds and did 75,000 DPS as blood, and it was like 78% on death coil damage and like
I've been
19% death
I've been
strike.
trying to pull off a different meme build with blood though. I've been trying to pull off the fleshcraft build.
I did do that. I actually had that ability.
I'm
It's
trying to like have. By the way, have
this,
you gotten the stacks of horsemen? They're
yeah,
so
it's
fucking
it's
useless
so
though.
dumb. Yeah, I've taken it
I
because I didn't have
got
a better option, but
I've gotten all four
they
horsemen
just
in what
die.
they just die. Like they're so cool, but like the horsemen have come, and I'm like, here's the four horsemen, and then
Yeah, they. I
fucking
would be so
die.
happy if they didn't taunt. If they didn't taunt, they'd be great. But they want to be tanks, and they want to tank in Frost like it's Wrath of the Lich King or something.
Yeah,
They're really dumb.
it's just
Theoretically,
so
they're great,
funny.
but they're really dumb.
But yeah, I'm trying to pull off like a mega fleshcraft. So I have currently 236k HP base. I haven't been offered a second spice, and I don't know if spice is now a single accept, meaning you can't stack it.
I have no
I
idea. I've
haven't.
never used it.
I have. Well, it used to stack to 400%, but then as soon as this came out, it now only stacks to 100%. And my guess is that probably the other ones that stacked insanely high no longer do that. But I haven't been offered it twice. In fact, like that's the thing that tilts me about Torghast the most is that some of these runs feel like they take fucking forever just because like you just get offered so much crap. Like an anima power to sense chests and elite enemies through walls.
Yeah, I just kill
I
everything.
would have I would have preferred like refilling elixir of life when you fall below 20% health, you auto heal to full once per floor. Like there's so many anima powers that we get that like, oh look, your anti magic shell removes all harmful magic effects. If I ever have to pop AMS to remove an effect, I'm probably gonna die anyways. Like
Yeah,
that's how I feel in some of these things. It's just like I don't know.
I will say you should definitely do one where you just do everything you can to stack Lichborn and Death Coil. It's a five
That'll
abilities,
be
but
that'll
in
be
the
the
18,
next one I do.
yeah, in the 18s, it's you get it can get ridiculous, but it even works in the sixes.
I just I'm the interrupt one I loved so much up until running into a boss that had no interrupts, and then I was like, oh, my
Yeah,
entire build just fell apart.
especially whenever you get it like full, where every time you do it, it casts breath of, or Syndragus's Fury, Frostworm's Fury. Every time you
Yeah.
like where you Mind Freeze activates Icebound Fortitude, and Icebound Fortitude activates Frostworm's Fury.
Have
That is
you
so
have,
broken.
have you fucked around with the Chains of Anguish?
I have not. I don't know how that works. I haven't done anything
Oh
with
my
it.
god, it's insane.
How does
Dude,
it
it
work?
sucks against bosses. It's all absolutely like if you're doing it with a party, you just be the floor clear. But essentially, like I stacked multiple Chains of Anguish, so it was like 150% shared damage because I had 3 of the epics, and then whenever I chained an enemy, it chained like 4 additional enemies and lasted forever. I chained the entire area together, like in a huge area, and then just went through and plagued everything as unholy, and then detonated, and they all popped.
I thought I had to like manually chain device every single enemy to hook them all together.
No, but you can chain multiple groups together.
I've never taken the ability. I'm not 100% sure how it works because it felt
So,
kind of fucky.
so it sucks unless you have the gray talent. Because yes, if you don't have the gray talent that chains an additional enemy with chains of ice,
Oh, and
you
stack
essentially
that, too.
do have to manually chain everything together. But
Gotcha.
once you have, yeah,
I might
and
try
if
that.
you get multiple of them, you literally can just chain, and just be spreading your frost fever or the virulent plague. By the way, I don't know if you've ever read this, motherfucker. I didn't know this,
That it
but
blows
the
up.
virulent one blows up on death?
Yeah.
Question mark?
It can also proc explosions just every time it ticks. And the frost one gives you back running power.
I still need.
So
by the way,
each one of them has a secondary effect. Frost one gives you RP, Blood one heals you, Unholy one does AoE.
yeah, I don't. I kind of wanted to make the legendary with the effects of all of them, but I noticed that it says the other ones are reduced or whatever, and I was like, I don't know about that.
I have Super Strain. I'm not actually using it right now though. On my best blood.
I'm trying to figure out what my second legendary is going to be. I think it's the Walking Zombie, but I'm not certain. I wanted Mythic Plus.
Oh, it's definitely. Are you sure? I mean, I guess the Walking Zombie's okay. The issue always in Legion with the Walking Zombies, it was so slow, so it would oftentimes die before it could even reach the trash bag. I have Frenzied Monstrosity. I'm just using it as my fucking default right now.
You're using that over the
yeah, over the Deathcool one.
Really?
The difference is minuscule. The Deathcool one is still better for single target, but
oh yeah, I definitely noticed. But my
it's still very minor.
I'm starting to lose to people in trash pools now, and it's kind of insane because at the beginning of this expansion, I was doing so fucking well, which is what I figured was going to happen.
Nerfing us.
Which is going to be the reason why I leave Unholy, because at a certain point, if I'm going to play a complicated class and do the same amount of damage as Frost, I'm just going to switch to Frost.
Yeah. Yeah, Frost is a lot easier. I have the Frost PvP legendary, by the way. It's fucking broken as shit.
Dude, by the way, we as Unholy in PvP, we're not as nasty as Pally right now.
Oh, they're very
We're pretty fucking nasty though.
Yeah.
Like, I was doing the skirmishes and I was 2v1ing because my partners were like no geared for some fucking reason.
Yeah, Frost can do that too. But the one advantage Frost has is the legendary Absolute Zero. It's so overpowered for Frost DK.
What is that? I haven't actually looked at anything Frost.
It cuts the cooldown of Frostworm Fury in half, which is whatever, and it also turns Frostworm's Fury into an AoE stun for 3 seconds. Now, I'm sure you're aware of what happens if a Pillar of Frost activated Frost DK with 100% obliterate crit strike chance can just wail on you, right? It's
no
so
more
stupid.
running away.
Yeah, it's
no
real
more
dumb.
running away.
It's really dumb. And
Dude,
Frostworm Fury automatically
so
applies a 70% slow, so even when the stun's over.
Oh, that sounds so fucking good.
And the weirdly best part is Frostworm Fury is a 40-yard range, so you stun everybody in 40 yards in front of you. Which means if the healer's standing back by the pillar in an arena, too bad.
We don't scroll. Honest to God.
Yeah. I've been meaning to PvP this every expansion. I'm like, I should PvP, and then I don't ever do it. I always just put it on the back burner because it's like finding a group of people to consistently do it with is always a pain.
You know, if it wasn't us, there'd be someone else.
Unless you join a PvP guild, which I'm never going to do.
Freddy. We just supply what Night City demands. That's all.
Huh. Alright, I need to reload to make sure I do actually want to kill these two people. I think these are child killers.
What? What are you playing?
Cyberpunk.
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's
Huh?
okay.
I enjoy it.
I mean, I put almost 200 hours into it.
Holy shit, that's a lot more than I've put into it.
Um,
I'm at like 17.
my thing is that
I've run into one bug so far.
well, I've run into a lot, but I feel like they did not. This game was not ready.
Yeah, they told everybody that. I don't know why people are surprised about
Let's
that.
not. We can figure this out.
I've been
Well, they
super
didn't
confused
tell
about
everybody.
They've
They
been saying
didn't tell
it wasn't ready for what, like 2 years, and then people they got pressured into releasing the game. I feel like at least I going into it was like I know they're not ready,
So
but
I knew
so
something
I'm not
wasn't right.
surprised.
Well, I wasn't hyped when it came out, despite being very excited for it, because I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong because they spent an extra year in development, and my gut instinct told me that they did that for a reason. And unfortunately, that reason was trying to get the game to work on console, which it just the previous generation of console is just never going to work for. It was too much wasted time on developing something that was never going to work.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think they should have done what they did with The Witcher. They release it on PC once they got, and then they take the time they need to release it on console. Unfortunately, investors and shareholders force people like this to.
I don't even think it was the investors and shareholders. They lost out the biggest on this because the game did not do anywhere near as well as it was supposed to.
Wait, what? No,
I think-
it was. They were making money on it. As in
Yeah, they were
recouped their
making money,
losses
but
2 weeks before it launched, and I know they've done a lot of refunds, but I don't think they've done as many as people think. I saw some people trying to say that Steam user activity was down, and that meant the player base. Like, dude, it's a single-player RPG that's been out for 3 weeks. Of course, the fucking user base is down.
no, but like, so something I do. Well, now it's my main job, but
Oh.
it was my side job. Something I do is I invest. I
Yeah.
do the stock market, or a daily trade, I should say.
Okay.
But one of the things that this launch has definitely done to the company is it has hurt its reputation, which
I
has
agree with that.
some serious consequences. Because if you like, I won't say that the launch was disastrous, but it was. In terms of what the investors could have seen come back to them, it's dwindled by a drastic amount because the game didn't launch forthcomingly. Like, there are a lot of problems and there were a lot of promises made that obviously didn't happen. And because of that, instead of making money off of this game, they're going to have to spend years of more development fixing every problem. They're going to have to pull a No Man's Sky. They're going to have to redeem themselves. And where they could have done what I believe they were intending to do, which is to create a Grand Theft Auto 5 like scenario, the map is
that the impression
huge.
you got? I didn't get that impression from it.
What?
I didn't get a GTA. I haven't gotten a GTA impression from this game. I've gotten much
No,
more
no, no,
Far Cry.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like they want to do a multiplayer.
Oh, I got you.
They have said that their intention is to have a cash, or the game will have microtransactions, and there will be multiplayer. And what that leads me to believe is that the game will have a GTA 5 multiplayer like scenario happening. But the problem is, rather than make all that money that they could have from launching a finished, well done product, people would have been very lenient and forgiving. But now, I mean, the customization is not there. The fact that my first playthrough, and I've played through this game 1.5 times now. My first playthrough, like if you visit the armor sellers after a certain point, they will have a legendary recipe available for you to buy, but they're rather expensive. They're 20k a piece.
Yeah.
If you leave and it reloads or restocks their inventory, you will never see a legendary blueprint in their shop again. The armor is completely bugged. You spend the entire game looking like a fucking idiot because you're wearing the best pieces you could the game was supposed to allow you to be you in a future that, you know, is what it is.
I think I actually know what the issue with that is. There's the outfits tab, and I just don't think they integrated it properly. Or the special thing that, like, it's a full body outfit that overlays your actual equipment. And I have not run into a single one of those just casually in the game. I think that's where the
I have.
is supposed to come. Yeah,
and
am I right? I don't know. I could be wrong.
It completely overrides your armor and does nothing. I have no idea what the tab is for.
No, I figured that's what it was for. It's like transmog.
Oh, maybe, possibly.
That's what
but currently, it serves no purpose. And then you have the crafting system. You have the crafting system that is. Oh, let me tell you this. I have several macros on my keyboard to do crafting because it literally takes hours.
What?
To level crafting. Oh, yeah. Because in order to craft
a stealth is leveling really slowly.
You have to do stealth actions.
I have been. I've literally killed no people in the game that the story doesn't make you. I've only stealthed through every single mission, and I've been doing almost nothing but side missions. I'm like level 22, and I haven't even met Rogue yet.
Yeah, like the game is poorly paced. Like people were like,
"Oh, I get that."
when the YouTubers were like, "This build is OP," and I was just thinking, "Oh, these people haven't played the fucking game yet. They don't realize that all of these builds don't work. They're all broken. They all do too much damage." I have
no idea how much damage things do. I don't hit people.
No, like, so in the early part of the game, like, let's say your first 2 stats, right? Once you get your first stat up, usually you're doing okay damage. Once you get your second stat up, you're doing a lot of damage. Once you start doing your third and final stat, because realistically, I did a lot of the game. I almost finished most of it in a single go.
That's my stats right now.
Oh.
I don't do damage.
So yeah, but okay, so Cold Blood is usually the final step in a lot of these builds.
And I haven't touched that.
It is, if you read it and then you look at all the other builds,
that's why I didn't
it's
touch it.
nuts. And the problem is you take cool probably as your final stat in everything. Or your secondary stat if you're doing like a stealth techno dude, which also doesn't work. So my second playthrough, I've been doing the I'm a hack your brain shit. And in the beginning, I was getting hacked back by nobody. Like I was disabling cameras, I was making no one had sight on me. And then once I got past a certain intelligence level, I really don't remember which level it was, no one could hack me ever again. I've not been hacked not once. And I am literally just killing everybody through cameras. Well, cool. Knocking them out.
That's cool. I might try that. I've been wondering what stat I should level next. Because I don't really
seeing as you're doing stealth, you could do poison.
I have leveled up. You got to remember though, I don't kill people. So I have poison traits, but I don't.
The poisons are non-lethal. So if you do the hacking poison, it'll say non-lethal on the skill.
Okay, I'll look at that. A
lot of the hacking stuff is non-lethal damage. There are some lethal ones, so do read the damage line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the game fundamentally breaks after a certain point. Like it is not designed well.
To be fair, that's the exact. The Witcher did that too. I played The Witcher. Do you know what was the hardest difficulty in The Witcher?
Death March?
I played The Witcher
Yeah.
on Death March, and I did
Well,
an
it's just-
alchemy build with the Griffin armor set. And by about level 22, I was one-shotting literally every enemy in the game, to the point where I made a video of me going into Novigrad, and I killed every guard in town in one big brawl and never took a hit. And I killed them all in one shot. I was meleeing people with my sword for like 19,000 damage. And I regenerated like 44,000 a second.
I just played that Death March like Dark Souls. I just didn't get hit. I played
I mean, you can play like that, but it's... Dude, alchemy is so overpowered in that game. It's beyond unreal.
I think I did the bleed build with like the quick strikes. So like I would just hit somebody, they would bleed for a shit ton. I'd hit somebody, they'd bleed for But
if you play
honestly,
it again, try Griffin armor strong attacks.
I've been meaning to. I have not played either of the DLCs.
Oh, dude. I'm not a big fan of Heart of Stone. It seems to be most people's favorite. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Blood and Wine is one of the best video games I've ever played.
Dude, I've been meaning to go back because honestly, it was such a great game. And I think that's the other issue with Cyberpunk is they were expecting a finished project like The Witcher 3.
Well, I think a lot of people forgot what The Witcher 3 launched like. The Witcher 3 launched exactly like this.
Right.
Like,
but
it's been 6 years. They've polished the shit out of it.
But also, you can definitely tell that like the doors that say locked or whatever in Cyberpunk, if you command prompt them open, there's nothing behind them. They're placeholder doors.
I mean, that makes sense. They did say they've been working on what, 2 or 3 DLCs already. Why do I keep getting? Oh, this is driving me fucking crazy. My fucking GPS HUD keeps defaulting back to my main story quest. I keep not noticing and following it, and then I have to leave.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, before these some of these DLCs are gonna have to be free then, because they didn't do what they said they were gonna.
They've released free DLCs several times. And CD Projekt Red DLCs aren't like Smash Brothers,
right?
At least not usually.
But the problem is, where they could have made money now, people are going to expect it to be free because they fucked up.
I still don't think they fucked up, but that could just be bias. I do like the company. And it's more cultural because I'm not somebody who has a big issue with crunch, and I think that's basically the only shitty thing.
I don't either. When I was working for Marriott, I was working overtime every single fucking day.
I'm like, dude, I work overtime too.
I don't know what all these little pussyfooting bitches are about. Bitch, I've worked overtime every single day in fact, I've worked overtime for every single day and then been asked to come in for extra days. Like, that's life.
It's part of working, yeah.
That's money to be made.
I'm very confused. The impression I've got, because I've played the game, like I said, I haven't really run into major bugs. I haven't had issues with it. So from my perspective, and I haven't actually talked to anybody who's told me they refunded the game.
No one I know has refunded it.
Yeah, I've heard.
Because we all
all that adds up to me, from my impression at least, to a lot of it seems to be media saying one thing, players doing another, which is very common in this industry.
I think my biggest issue, and the biggest issue everybody I know who's played the game is actually the story.
I haven't seen a lot of the story yet, and I'm already a little disappointed in it because it just feels.
Where are you in the story?
I know the plot. I've looked it up because I want to shoot for a specific ending.
I didn't do that. I didn't look anything up, and I got the Pan Am ending, and me and her rode off in the sunset. It was beautiful. Well, actually, it was like
I thought V dies always, no matter what, from what I read. Like eventually,
he does.
Like 6 months or something.
Yeah, he always dies. So I think that's the biggest issue, is that I finished the game. I got this very sweet, heartwarming like ending, but with the in the back of my mind, I know that he dies and leaves her alone. Like her life is already not easy, and then you make it way not more easy. And on top of that, I think the biggest detriment is the opening cutscene. That should have been shit you played.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like
That
he
is-
just skipped
that is
6 months of Night City, and then he's level 1. The
You
fuck?
skipped the fun part. You skipped the fun part. The getting to know Night City. When you start playing the game, after you get past the first point, the first act, you're dying. Every second of every moment you are dying. It is such a
Found a bug.
it is such a melancholy story of unending like a Blaze of Glory or Quiet Life, right?
Yeah,
And it's
I'm gonna
such-
go for the
it's-
ending where it's just me and Silverhand, and we solo Arasaka, and then we both die.
sounds like a plan.
It sounds like the best ending to me because you
I
die no matter
haven't-
what. I'd rather
I
take
haven't
them
watched
down.
I haven't watched the other endings. So
Okay. Well, sorry if I spoiled it. It's the super,
No, no,
it's the
no.
super hard ending.
I so
You don't get a
I
checkpoint.
I saved right before you make your choice, and I did my Nomad ending, and I went. I was like,
Corpo.
okay. Oh no, I went. I started as Nomad, and I said to myself, every decision I make, I'm going Nomad.
That's
and,
kind of what
that's
I'm
what-
doing. Actually, that's why my dude's super cool.
Yeah, Corpo.
I'm very, very. I don't mean cool as in I'm a badass. I mean like, I use him kind of like Agent 47. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wear bad
I-
armor just so
that's-
I have a suit on.
You're like Agent 47 from Hitman. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have the monowire, even though I don't kill anybody.
But like, oh god, that opening cutscene being what it
It's very
is
good.
sets you up for an exciting,
Yeah, it's very
awesome
good.
life in Night City, and then it's just dread and misery.
Yep.
And I think that
I think it's okay, by the way, because have you read the comics? Because the comic books are dread and misery. It's a
Right.
very depressed world.
but
but
you
I
don't
don't
get
think
to
people
feel
do
the
that.
sadness you should. You feel empty at the ending. Is how I felt. I felt empty. I was sad, but more than sad, I felt empty because I didn't connect with my character that much. And when Jackie died, I felt like that was a moment where I should have felt a lot of sadness. But rather than that, I just was like, all right, let me move on. And I don't think that is the feeling you're supposed to have. And I don't think that's the feeling that the game is intending you to have when you're playing. I just think that opening cutscene should have been playtime. Should have been playtime. I also like don't know what they're gonna do for DLC, but I have no interest in playing V, who's gonna
That's what I was
die.
wondering. I've been
in all
thinking
the
same
DLC.
fucking thing. Like The Witcher is good. Is terrible if you kill Geralt at the end. It's a terrible game. If Geralt's alive, especially if you do whatever you want with Ciri, it changes the entire tone of the game.
So
I'm
that
having
would
trouble getting through this game because I know V dies at the end. So I'm like, what the fuck? Does V die if you turn him into Silverhand?
well, he becomes an infinite AI.
Yeah,
He becomes an AI.
okay, let me rephrase
I mean,
this.
no,
Does
but
the
let-
body housing his consciousness die if you turn him into Silverhand?
No, because Silverhand is technically already Silverhand's body. So to be technical, to be actually technical, the moment you plug your brain into the machine, the human being dies. A copy is made and separated from Silverhand. Regardless of what happens next, you already have died. If you
Yeah,
want to
but
be
I mean,
technical,
like the body. I'm not talking about the mind. Just
the body lives on if if Silverhand takes control of it.
Okay.
But
I'm still gonna kill them both. I'm just curious.
for me personally, if they release a DLC, they're like I'm not gonna
Like, there
want
could
to
be.
play.
There's a chance, by the way, V isn't the main character of the DLC.
Right now, that is something I'm okay with. A different storyline within the Cyberpunk world that I'm cool with. But I think
mean,
they
it
should
could
fix
be
the
one of the
storyline with
girls.
V.
What if it was like? Here's an idea. What if the storyline was either your SO or I don't know, somebody else, or it could be they could be, rather than expanding the main plot and giving it post game, they could be DLCs that take place in that interim that you're talking about that we didn't get to see.
I that should have been base game, my dude.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it wasn't. So
The game
it was a good
feels
cinematic though. It sure got you into
great.
it.
It's a great cinematic. It sets you up for a game that you don't get to play.
Yeah, it sets you up. It kind of sets you up for a more adult Grand Theft Auto, which isn't what this is. This feels like like Far Cry in a city to me.
It feels so like the fact that you spend the entire game dying is such a Debbie Downer to what you're
if you
supposed
role
to
play,
be
it's
at. Yeah,
very hard to invest in a character that's dead. Like, and it's not dead in the same way of what's the other game? I mean, there's a movie, right? With Jason Statham, I think it was, where like he has to be like high on meth the whole movie, or like some other stimulant, because if his heartbeat drops, his heart explodes. Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
have that kind
crank.
of high octane pace to it. Like if this game had that kind of high octane, even if it, I mean, obviously you get side quests, but if it had that like high octane, we got a rush pace, I think it would be a lot better.
that's the
But it's so protracted. Even in the story, it's protracted.
it doesn't make sense though, because like Vic says you've got a couple weeks, right? That's what Vic tells you. You have a couple weeks, right?
Yeah,
And beating the game gives you a couple months.
yeah.
So my thing is this: any DLC is not going to make sense because
Unless it doesn't take place post, right?
it would have to take place before Jackie goes. Now
Yeah.
that
And I
means,
think Jackie being in the DLC would help it. Jackie was the best part of this game.
yeah, and he's in it for 1/10 of the game.
Yeah, I miss Jackie. His death did come as a fucking shock to me, though. I did not see him dying. I knew he was gonna die. I had no doubt at all he was dying in the story. Didn't expect him to die that fucking fast.
Yeah, he dies so early in the story, and you get so little time. You get one set of mission with him. That's
Yeah,
it.
And then you like find out his mom doesn't like his girlfriend, and that's it.
And I repaired that relationship real quick.
I have done nothing with it.
No, it's when you go to his funeral, you either fix it there or you don't.
No, then I did not. I talked to his sister. I talked to his girlfriend. I was like, she'll probably come around, and then I didn't give a shit anymore. I don't really like Jackie's girlfriend's character. She's kind of weird, not in a quirky way, but in a you look kind of fucked up kind of way.
That's what it
shit.
is.
Yeah, I like the game, but I don't not understand why people have issues with it. I'm just not sympathetic to them because I wasn't unprepared, I guess, for what I got. A lot of that might just be because I played Witcher 3 on launch, and I had a lot more issues with Witcher 3.
Dude, I remember the fight with the artist in the artist room where you had to get the plaques in... I can't remember the fucking city. Wait. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's the port city.
In the Witcher?
You have to... Yeah, you have to get plaques for something. Like, for Dandelion or some shit. And two dudes are inside the house. And I didn't have, at the time, the ability to, like, pacify them with the spell, so I had to fist fight them. And I fucking broke my mouse. I lost my fucking mind. Because they would punch you, like, twice, and on Death March, that was death.
Yep, that's death.
And it was in such a tiny room that, like, I couldn't actually pull any moves off because the house was like fucking and it was like fighting in someone's asshole. It was just too tight. And I remember doing that fist fight, and I literally smashed my mouse. I was just so fucking pissed because it was such a tiny fucking room, and it didn't need to be that bullshit. I also kind of ruined the game for myself in a way, because when I was playing, I did Skellige before I did the marshes, then I
so you were too
Skellige.
strong.
And as soon as I got back to the rest of the world, because like, don't get me wrong, it was enjoyable to literally play the game where it was like, I can't get hit. If I get hit, I die. I'm gonna hunt all these beasts down, but if I get hit, I die. But then like I got back to the rest of the world, and it was like, you are a god.
Yeah,
Do not worry.
there's a feature you should have turned on in your options menu. You can turn on an option that makes the world level with you.
Oh, that would have.
If you turned it on, you never overpower the enemies. It's
Is
almost
that in there at
required.
launch?
Yeah, it's almost required in Death March. I'm
if
not
you go to-
100% sure it was there on launch, but I think it was because I think I had it on accident, and it actually pissed me off.
If you go there as your second place, you never come back. By the way, the rowing through the ocean, so calming. Oh god, just I remember just like falling to sleep in my chair rowing through the ocean.
Where the fuck is this dude?
Have you met Fingers?
Yeah, he's a fucking creepy motherfucker.
Oh, you didn't kill him? I killed
Nah,
him.
Why would you? I don't kill people, man. I just didn't kill the fucking dude who murdered a child, like a preacher's kid.
Oh, they didn't murder him.
Oh,
They were the ones editing the BD.
so
you
they
don't
just made
inter-
it look like they murdered him.
No. Okay, so the story with that is that
I was talking to you at the time, so I kind of missed the storyline.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
The
I didn't-
guys editing the BD got it from the guy who killed them, and what they want the BD for is to find out who killed him.
Oh, well, I guess that's a good thing I didn't kill them then.
You're talking about like Hans and Gretel, fucking like, oh yeah, leave the sweat in.
No, I don't think we're talking about the same thing now. Ah, fuck. Man, sometimes you take a risk, sometimes it doesn't pay off. The stealth in this game is dumb, by the way. Have you done, like, extensive stealth runs?
Yeah, it doesn't work properly.
Yes and no. But, like, weird things, like, stealth is OP in the sense that, like, I can stealth behind somebody, grab them, and choke them out with, like, a dude, like, 2 inches in front, and he won't notice.
The most success I've had with stealthing is when I was actually doing my first run. I got rid of the ability to hack and got the sand activism, which slows time. And what ended up happening...
I've considered
Huh?
it.
Well, I can tell you this right now. With the large jump and
I
the
have
slow
that. It's
time,
so good.
yeah, it breaks the game. It literally gives you options that literally make the game laughably easy in terms of like what you can do. But anyways, I would literally just activate the slow time, run into a building, complete the objective, and run out before anybody fucking noticed I was there. Like, I didn't turn off cameras. Well, I could turn off cameras instantly because my tech was level 20. And if you walk up to a camera and it doesn't detect you right away, you can just immediately turn it off
Yeah.
if your technology's high enough.
Oh, I can do it. My stealth's high enough. Your stealth also lowers the detection duration of cameras, not just people.
No. The tech allows you to just, and you know how like you can hack them to turn them off.
Yeah.
Well, with tech you can just turn them off. You just
Oh.
walk up and
Oh.
hit F and it turns them off.
You want something?
Oh. Did
So
not
you
know that.
activate slow time and then you go up to all the cameras, you can just basically turn them off as you're running through.
Oh, that's fucking overpowered.
All of the builds do that though. Like they all have some broken nonsense. Like the hacking build is insane. It's insane, especially with the poison, because the poison one hits multiple enemies. It also has the ability to be buffed. And let me tell you this right now, when it jumps to like 13 fucking enemies and is critting them and is knocking them out, and all you did was hack one camera, you're gonna laugh. You can increase jump radius on those on the hacks. You can increase the damage the poison does. You can increase how many targets it hits. You can increase its damage. You can increase its like it's nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, if you get all the like if you do tech and cool and hacking, like you literally can like make a crit build to where your hacks just delete entire armies. You just hack their brain and you're like, I am now your brain. You will fall. God damn it. I've died so many times to the fucking one shot mechanic. I have not been paying attention.
I'm standing on top of the car. I just dumped somebody's body in. Just to see where it goes.
I rode an invisible like I was doing a side quest, one of the cooler ones, and this mayor is being hacked, and I rode an invisible vehicle that was their getaway vehicle, and it couldn't unload because I was on top of it.
You're bad
But
luck. Every time I haven't had any bugs. I keep talking. Now that I'm talking to you, I've had like 5.
Hey,
I just had my motorcycle run into me and then like merge with my body.
I just get the nude T-pose bug.
I've seen
too
pictures of it, but I've never had it happen.
Usually only when you're driving fast.
I don't usually go on the highway. Don't forget, I've basically just been doing every mission for the Fixer Regina. I'm just about done. I think I have 1 left, maybe 2.
I think his mic wasn't working. Yeah,
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh god! I killed like 5 civilians. Time to run. I lost control. By the way, the police in this game don't play around. If they find you, if you kill a civvy, they blow your shit up.
Well, they also don't work properly. Like, you could just literally outdrive them and they just stop following you.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that's actually pretty realistic for Night City.
Well, it's not realistic in the sense that they teleport behind you.
Oh, do they really? I've not had that happen yet.
Yeah,
Actually,
whenever
just
you
lost them.
whenever you aggro the cops, if you're like in a place where there's just like a civilian in the middle of the desert, a couple of drones will immediately appear behind you.
Huh? I haven't been to the desert really. I like did the Delamain car hunt, and that's the only time I've been to the desert. And by the way, I'm playing this game on the 2nd to hardest difficulty, and you saw my stats. That Delamain car hunt, where that fucking car that's like got the bitch from Portal's voice leads you into a trap, was the hardest part of this entire game I've had so far by a fucking mile.
I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and I just
It took
blew
me
through.
like 4 hours to do that mission.
Yeah.
Because you can't get away from them. You can't not fight and kill them. And they were killing me in 1 to 2 bullets. It was so fucking hard.
I did a tech pistol build, and the pistol I had was so the way that tech works is that they charge up and they have special effects, but the pistols are pretty unique in that one of them automatically is auto charged but doesn't get any charge bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one that actually has to charge up and it shoots 2 shots. That one's worthless. And then you have the King, which is a revolver that has an ammo clip of 20, but when you charge it up, it shoots like a semi-auto pistol. But if you buff enough shit, it becomes like a fully auto pistol. And because it counts as charged up, it gets all the benefits. So literally I was doing like 100k a hit. So when I got ambushed, I charged up the gun and then sprayed and prayed, and then they disappeared. Because
that didn't happen. That did not happen for me. It took me hours and hours to do that mission. By the way, this super jump is really broken though. It's very game breaking.
no, it breaks the entire game. It gives you avenues of entry that don't normally exist.
Well, I think a lot of those are intentional, but definitely
Right.
not all of them.
Right, but at the same time, like the difference between an entrance being guarded and the side being guarded is night and day. The sides where those entrances exist are not guarded. There's maybe one NPC in a general area of it, but the front entrances to some of these places are heavily guarded. You're not
Yeah, like the
sneaking
one I'm trying to
through
get
them.
in right now.
Yeah, like
Like, if I was willing to just, like, get a gun and mow these motherfuckers down, this game would be a lot faster. I've probably
Yeah.
spent 5 hours, actually probably a lot more than that, maybe like 10 hours of my game time, just trying to find ways to stealth through levels without killing anybody. Because, like, I'm fine knocking everybody out and choking them out, but it's really hard to do that one at a time sometimes.
yeah, I'm doing a non-lethal playthrough.
It's slow. Fuck. I just jumped so high in the air I landed and killed myself.
But the reason I didn't do it the first time is because I always do it. Like the non-lethal get through the game without killing anybody playthrough is something I always do. Like in Skyrim, I did that. In fucking Fallout, I do that. In well, not in The Witcher. Um,
Yeah, it's hard to do a Witcher non-lethal.
yeah. A lot of those people deserve to be lethal. Let's be real.
I think a non-lethal Witcher playthrough is just unemployed.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I finally got it as an option. It totally does stack on you. Oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
And it's really broken if you get the thing that reduces the cooldown of Lichborn when you Death Strike.
Oh, that's insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane.